What's up, everyone out there in YouTube world, Facebook world, social media of the world? Welcome to another episode of Musings and MDL. Today, I'm going to talk about kind of everybody's favorite topic, and that is stabilization braces. Maybe not their favorite topic, but it's been kind of out of the news a little bit lately. But I kind of wanted to bring everybody up to speed on what's kind of going on out there and tell you a little bit of story that's happened locally here in Florida. And it basically revolves around what's happening with these braces and how law enforcement is interpreting the law and what they're doing with these braces. So, as everybody knows, the Biden administration signed an executive order ordering the ATF to basically outlaw these braces, not make them illegal, but if you put them on a AR pistol or anything else, it becomes an SBR. Everybody knows this. There were a few lawsuits filed and a few injunctions that were entered by a couple of lower level federal judges across the country. There was a lot of information that went out and misperceptions, maybe whichever, about some of these lawsuits and who's covered by them and who's not. So a lot of people signed up for certain gun rights groups thinking that that means that they were covered by these injunctions and that it didn't apply to them, et cetera, et cetera. So I'm going to tell you a story. It's an anecdotal story, but it's one that happened here recently in Florida where an individual had his firearms taken in an unrelated incident. I don't mean unrelated, but I mean an incident occurred. The sheriff's department was called out. They ended up taking a pistol, an AR pistol that had a stabilization brace on it, into evidence as it investigated this situation. Ultimately, the situation was cleared. Nothing happened. No charges ever brought. The case was basically closed, and it was over with. And this individual went to go back and get his pistol with his brace back from the police department, and they wouldn't give it to him because the police department said, hey, under the new law, this is a short barrel rifle, so we're not giving it back to you. And this individual had joined one of these groups, one of these gun advocacy groups, and was saying, hey, I'm covered by this injunction. You can't keep it. You have to give it back to me. And the sheriff's department was basically saying, nope, we're not going to give it back to me. So ultimately, what the sheriff's department ended up doing was disconnecting the two items, removing the brace from the pistol. They gave the pistol back to the individual, but they wouldn't give the brace back to the individual. So what's the moral of this story and what's the point of this video? The point of this video is to tell you it doesn't matter what you think you are or what you think you are covered by when it comes to these braces, okay? Local law enforcement, and I knew this was going to happen, and I was saying it was going to happen a while ago, local law enforcement isn't going to get buried in those weeds. They're not going to read injunctions from judges in areas of the country that they don't live and that their department isn't at. They're not going to read articles or announcements that are posted on certain Second Amendment advocacy groups claiming that if you're a member of this group, you're covered by this injunction and you're allowed to have a brace. I'm telling you, they're not going to do that. They're not going to get bogged down on the weeds. They believe their position is, especially here in Florida, because we also have a separate short barrel rifle law here in Florida. I would imagine most of the other states do as well. But here in Florida, we have a separate, our own short barrel rifle statute that says it's illegal. It's also a state crime and illegal to possess a short barrel rifle as well as a federal crime. They are interpreting it as the new law says you cannot have a stabilization brace on an AR pistol or an AK pistol or whatever. They're not going to allow it. So they're not going to care what group you claim that you're a part of. They're not going to care if you go down there and show them an order from a judge in Texas or Arizona or wherever that says there's an injunction for these group of people and you're going to try and claim that you're this type of person. They're not going to care. What you're going to have to do is file a lawsuit or some sort of motion or something to get in front of a judge. And if you go in front of a judge, maybe you can convince the judge if you can say, here's the injunction that was done by this federal judge. Here's what it covers or who it covers. Here's my admission into this organization that says it covers me. And you might be able to convince a local judge of that. But I have a sneaky suspicion that your local county or circuit judges are going to take the same stance and go, I don't care what those things say. I'm not giving this back to you. And so as far as I know, as of today, law enforcement still has this person's stabilization brace because they won't give it back to them. And you can spend thousands of dollars to file a motion, to go in front of it or whatever. And you can contact these big organizations and say, hey, our local sheriff's department isn't following your rule. And, maybe they'll come to you and assist you. Most likely they won't, because again, they're a big organization. They got a lot of things going on, and I'm not sure they're going to do anything to help you out. So I guess the moral of the story is there was a lot of misconception, a lot of confusion going on when these injunctions and these lawsuits were coming out. And a lot of people were claiming, well, I'm part of this group, so I can have my pistol and I can have my pistol brace and everything's going to be fine because I'm a member of this group. And yet reality comes smacking down on them and says, you can claim that all you want, but good luck trying to prove it to local law enforcement and get them to agree to give you your item back. So I just want to do a quick little video to let somebody know, or to let everybody know, that this is what's going to happen out there. I knew it was going to happen. It's clearly happening. Again, this is one anecdotal story from down here in Florida, but I guarantee you every single law enforcement department out there and the lawyers who represent them are going to take the same position, that as far as they're concerned, braces are illegal if they're on a pistol, and they're not going to give you your pistol and your brace back unless they get an order from a judge to do so. And I think you're going to even have a hard time finding a lot of local judges across the country who are going to get bogged down in the weeds on this and start ordering these things back. Everybody's just going to sit back and wait until there's some sort of Supreme Court ruling. So it's just a warning that if you think you're one of these people that falls under these lawsuits and these injunctions, and you're a member of one of these groups, and you've been told that that protects you and you're not going to have a problem, reality is completely different than what you're being told and what's going on out there. Doesn't mean that I don't support these groups doing these things. These lawsuits are great, and maybe you do qualify for it, and the law enforcement is just wrong. Wouldn't be the first time, but that doesn't mean that you're just going to be able to walk right in there and say, hey, I'm a member of this group, give me my pistol back, because they're not going to do it. So just a word of warning out there. Keep that in mind. Thanks for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe. I'm getting ever closer to 1,000 subscribers. It'd be nice to get to 1,000 subscribers. So if you like what you have to say here, comment down below. I'll be happy to reply to you, but thanks for watching. So I'm going to end it here today. So as always, stay safe, stay healthy, stay vigilant, and as always, carry on.